Hello, hello, passionaires out there. Good to have you on Thursday. It's our night. I know some of you are watching on YouTube. Some of you join our Zoom. This is I call it a community night that I have this on Monday in Chinese and Thursday here in the Eastern time for English community out there that are passionaires who are those who can be fearless as you. Live happily together with other people. Definition is one of my favorite nights like this. This is a season of college, season of school, and so we are going to open up tonight for everybody. Here, you can ask questions. We'll focus a lot more on possibly college and beyond. Yes, last week, in case you missed it, we have one of our passionaire online, Jenny, who is heading her way to UK, do a grad school, and she was able to manage her passion in tranquility acceptance throughout pandemic. So I want you to go back and watch it. It's one of the very let me put this very I call this slow cooker. Like this kind of story, I cannot fabricate it. It has to be there for years, and the real life, real story, a real girl. She's not an actor or actress, so I love it. I hope you go back, Jenny. Very good job last week. So today, I think I have more parents come on board. I believe so. We already have collected many questions from our community. So I'm going on to the Q&A mode, which, I don't want this to be just me talking. So I'll have also our coaches coming in from time to time to chime in a little bit from your own experience. And hopefully you can give today, in majority will be parents, anxious parents. Some of you may be already gone through the season of getting your kids to college. I know I have one. My boy is 17-year-old, going to be senior in high school, a public school, so Princeton High. And my wife and I, we are going through like, where is that going to go college? So I'm with you. I'm not just out of the loop. So in the past few years, we have been working with many high schoolers from middle high to high school and going into college. So I have tons of story. Every story is unique, by the way, if you guys know that. It's nobody's college thing. It's like a cookie cutter stuff. You could have gone to the best college, but you may not get the best result out of it. You could have gone to the so-called second, third tier college, but you might get the best result out of it. So it really depends on a lot of aspects. But today, I love this. We have coaches, we have parents, we are missing kids, but hey, they are out there. I don't think they will come in and listen to something like this. But hey, so I'm here. If you have any question, we'll go through some of the questions we collected already. I think some of you already kind of send us your questions. So I love to be able to just sit down here and talk through it with you. So I would like to invite Coach Haiti to come in a minute. So because it's better like she can really read this for me. All right, Coach, can we highlight? Yeah. All right. All right.
Hi.
I know you have been collecting a lot of information from folks, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Should I do it in order?
Up to you. So if this is Coach Hattie, by the way, guys, you're probably familiar with her. So go ahead. What would be the number one question? Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. One of the questions is my kids is 15 years old. This year is ninth grade, and he doesn't know that in the future what kind of major would that be. So if my kids just like that, is it easier, just funner major for him or her? in the future easy to find a job?
All right, let me just paraphrase this question, which is in a lot of parents' mind is, how early should I start helping my kids to decide the future? Minimally, a direction, right? Maybe a little bit more like college major. And this case is 15-year-old, a boy, ninth grade. But from this parent basically said, this boy has no idea, or he doesn't have a very strong desire to go somewhere, some kind of direction. So pretty kind of easygoing kid. What should we do with the easygoing kid? Like, seem to be okay with any direction, right? That's a good question. I mean, statistically, kids in the age of 15, 95% of kids will not know what direction they are going. Hey, parents, if you go back to when you were 15, did you know where you are going? You knew because you were in a system that already very rigid. So whatever you do, you could go through more like a technology, like science, physics, chemistry, and the other one is just art, liberal art, or maybe something else. So American system is a little more flexible. So that's a luxury kids in this nation they have, is they don't have to make decision that early. Okay. So pretty much that's not the age you have somebody like, I want to be the president of the United States. That's a bit too much. All right. I want to study computer science. Well, that's pretty cool. But if you ask kids around 15, this is normal. It's normal. This is where they actually know, but they will not let you know. So it's kind of, so that this is normal just for this parent. I want to just share with you. It's very challenging to have a 15-year-old boy to say, I want to do this. Now, you may say, oh, my boys' classmates, so and so, my friends, kids, they all know where they're going. They are lying. Okay. They probably just and they probably just didn't have an objection to whatever the parent says. So, but I give you a little tip here. Number one, I want to calm you down, parent. It's okay when they are 15, they don't know what major, what direction we want to. But one thing will help you is to have 4 directions. I want you to go through here with me. These 4 directions I have is at age of 15, there are about 3-4 years to go. Okay. So, and please calm down. Okay. And easygoing kids. So, with that, pretty much you have to say at this year, in this particular season, just out of the preteen, which is preteen is where identity issue coming. Like, am I, what is my identity? So coming out of that preteen thing, what's my appearances, am I defined by my color scheme? Am I defined by my weight, my height, my ability? So that's kind of preteen. So when you get to about 15, usually this kind of identity crisis supposed to kind of either calm down, or they found their identity, or they just forget about it. Okay, most of the kids are able to move on. So, but at this point, it will be something that parent you are able to influence or help is give them a very general direction. So this help you a little bit. Let me go over this. If you are passionate, the blue called belief is on the leadership. It's called producer. It's where they want to be competitive. They want to go out there to influence people. They want to go do business. They want to start something on their own. They want to be the leader. They want to have a voice. So this is political science. This is policy making, law. This is business. It can go a lot of ways. So this is really producer belief. So they believe in something. They have the confidence to do it. Number 2 is the dream, which is red. That's what we call the entrepreneur. It's more far out looking, love technology, excited about something, challenging the boundary, status quo, stuff like that. And then, of course, art, beauty belong here. So we are coming up a new assessment, which Dr. JB and I have been using our global positioning map from the database we have called Learning PQ. If you are interested, we can talk to our coaches. We are doing a promotion right now, so we can actually divide this more into 24 passions and help you out. but the dream is on that entrepreneur, business, travel, idealism, that to help people, social studies, stuff like that. And then the green part is connect, work with people, sensitive, performing, education, work with people. And then do is traditionally what a lot of Asian parents, you love it. Do is like step-by-step, systematic, accounting, medical system, medical profession, finances, engineering, computer science. They have a system for you to rise up step by step to get there. So at age of 15, the first question is, which one is dominating, or which one is really that this young boy, 15, is start to kind of try. And so a lot of people try different things. 15, try dream and drop the dream. 16, try connect on the social media, do a lot of travel. And then finally they settle down to do, they fall back to the systematic thing, and stuff like that. So I give you a very general direction of this. Now, PQ, by the way, that we are able to come in to really benchmark against global data to help you guide this. So I want the parent to know it is okay. He's easygoing. But when you say easygoing, I worry about the producer quadrant, because that means maybe your boy is like a little bit, need a little encouragement and experience in the producer side of things. I mean, leadership, making decision. So hopefully I give you enough. But if you have a direction, we can talk more about it. But give a very, very high level direction. Just talk about it would be very good. Yeah. All right. If you have a question, you can type in the chat or online. We'll monitor that and we'll try to answer. Go ahead, Hattie.
Yep. The second question is that, do you have any suggestions about club or volunteering?
Okay, now this is a very technical question. Like it's definitely, when the kids should go to the club or volunteer. Oh boy, I love this question. You are really ahead of every other parents if you ask this question. I will give you an answer. A short answer is it doesn't matter. Okay, and what matters is what you do in that club or volunteering. Okay, but there's a little bit difference in case of putting on your resume application. But to me, it's about what do you do in that work and stuff like that. I'll give you something. There's a bunch of professors led by an admission officer from Harvard. So this one is coming out from the Harvard Grad School of Education, and then signed by about 100 VPs, vice president, as well as admission officer from all Ivy League school, by the way, signing in. And the title of that article is called Turning the Tide. And they all agree on this based on a couple of conference they have to. This is way before COVID, way before the woke movement. So it's really not racial thing, in there. There's no tone like that. They find out that a lot of kids and parents are gaming the system. They specifically use the word gaming the system. That means they come up with a perfect resume to fill up every quadrant possible. And the kids, when they get on the campus, they don't have the basic capability to be an independent woman and man. And they are not able to contribute to the campus life because they have been just so busy doing, all kind of activity and volunteering work to a point, have a perfect resume. So their advice, which is way before all this pandemic related thing, they say we have to look at whether the kid have chance to help mom wash dishes every day, for example. Or does this kid have the time to help the family business to get over the hump? So they actually recommend to reduce the number of APs they do, because they know if you do 13 APs, the kids have no leisure time to do nothing. So I hope you read this. I already give every parent this kind of warning a couple of years ago. And nobody listened to me because they don't believe this, especially Asian community. But this year, the application doesn't look good as far as I can tell. Okay. Because they already implement this policy into it, not policy. Like, so don't go out and blame like, oh, this is because they have the discrimination against certain ethnic background. Like, in particular, Asian boy did not have a good year this year. You know why? Everybody applied for computer science. And we kind of have a stuffed resume. At the same time, we have a gap year, which we have like almost 2 years of students try to apply for 1 year college. So all this together, it doesn't look very good for application this year. A lot of parents start to complain about, oh, this is something against particular. But, well, you can look at it that way. Or you can look at it the other way is the tide is shifting. The way they want to select students now, they have to incorporate what you do. What you really love to do is not what you want to stuff. They call it gaming the system. So they are very good at picking up that. So to me, when I'm answering this, it's very careful, club and volunteering. The difference is what's the motivation your kids doing it. So that's why you need why, I can use my son Zach's volunteering work. He ran cross country. He loved the sport. So believe it or not, after 3 o'clock, he come home at 6. So every day for 5 days or 6 days a week, he spends 3 more hours running cross country. It's not just running, it's doing training and all that. So he, I and my wife like, oh, he's not doing his work, so he's sleeping late, he's tired every day. Cross country, you guys know how difficult that is, right? And then their coach hosts something, a camp for elementary school in Princeton. Zach volunteered. He wants to be helping out more time. And I was there looking at him far away. I don't want to bother him. And he was working with 5th grade, 4th grade. And he was surrounded by about 20 kids, mostly boys. And they didn't listen to him. He's like, Zach run cross skinny, steady, like, but he loved it. He loved it. He loved to just teach the younger people run, but they don't listen to him. That's okay. So is that club or is this volunteer? Is he the leader? He's not. He's just there to helping out as one of the small group leader. But you know what? To me, that's what a high schooler is supposed to have freedom to do. Whether this will go on his college resume or application, it doesn't matter. All right. So when I say that, you may not believe me. Parents out there, oh, Coach K, you don't know. Well, maybe I don't know, but we have literally hundreds of students going out through our system. I should know a thing or two. Okay. So it has to be right now. I mean, the school today, especially good school, elite school, they are very good at really picking out all that if you got stuff in the application. So the question is like, do your kids have their own time, not playing video game? I know somebody, well, I know. But do your kids have time to do what they love to do? And then we can help them how to package what that is. That's okay. We can help on that one. Package means some of them don't know how to express it because they need help and training, but they must have that time. So it's very crucial. So that club and volunteer, of course, there are differences, but is Coach Esther want to say something? I say, raise your hand. Esther? No? Oh, yeah? You want to say something, right? No? Okay. So we have coaches here who've been to the college and all that. We'll get them here to talk about it. So club and volunteers, to me, it's more important why your kids want to be there. It's not just, I want to be the club leader, president. They're going to just root it out if just a president, avoid presidency. Be careful about that. If they know that, that's not going to look very good throughout the process. All right. Thank you. Next one.
All right. The next question, we have 15 years old boys again. I see the mom is here. Maybe mom can turn on your mic and then just ask the question.
Mom, you don't have to show your face. You can just unmute yourself. You can ask in Chinese, English, up to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is mom here?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Coach K. This
Helen.
is Helen.
Hey, good to have you.
Thank you. Well, it's really, thank you so much for this session. Have two questions related
Okay.
to Matthew.
Matthew,
He's
yeah,
15.
Matthew being on our online summer camp. And by the way, Helen is one of our, how should I say, an old time, passionaire. So welcome from Texas. So go ahead, Helen.
Thank you. Yeah, so Matthew's ninth grader. He's
Mhm.
being very fortunate to be in your pilot groups for both the junior PQ at the age of 9 until now, Dr. JB's pilot for the learning motivation. So along the past 5 to 6 years, he had 4 PQ tests, 1 STEAM test, and 1 learning motivation. So 2 questions about his passions. The first one's related to his power. So his A quadrant is getting bigger since 2 years ago. And this
A
latest
quadrant is
PQ
increasing. Helen, you are a lucky mom.
Oh, really?
Okay.
No, it's actually not because of anything that's increasing since the 2 years. It's really because of the shrink of his power from
Oh, wow.
1.1.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, from positive 1.1 to negative 0.2. So I remember 6 years ago, you suggested my husband and I to build a village for him with
Yes.
high-powered role models.
Right.
Since nobody in the family. However, for extreme low power parents, it's not easy to find a village of that, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering,
Wow, I
is
see.
it okay? His P quadrant and A quadrant still obviously, larger than the right-hand side. So I'm just wondering, do you think there is anything we need to do? He is involved in school clubs and all these, and he's willing to compete for the president role, all these. Other than that, we really don't know, to be honest, don't know how to nurture his motivation in power.
Yeah, Matthew, Helen, number one, I'm not too worried about Matthew at all. Okay.
Okay, good.
Matthew, I think Coach Joyce, were you in that summer camp too, Matthew? I think so. So we'll have some coach coming in, but I think Matthew, by sacrificing some of his producer side, in particular power, focus on A quadrant, it could be a sign of maturing. That means he probably tried producer side and he may be satisfied already. As I said, in teenage years, except 15, they may switch different quadrant every year to try something. So he may be satisfied with, say he was a president of a club. Wow, he already satisfied with the power, vengeance, the leadership there. And then once, it could be a good sign, I don't know, but you can match his, especially COVID is tough, but if he has satisfied a quadrant, interesting enough, we found kids will switch quadrant to try it out. That's usually a sign of maturization. That means he starts to be able to pick area and focus, which is a very important part of training and life experience. So the worst thing is they just pop over the place. We have coached a lot of people through pandemic, like their PQ like all over the place when they're in their 20s. That's not a good sign. But if they are able to season by season, for them, a season is a year. So if you are happy with producer side, some of them throughout the natural maturation, or you actually switch to other passion to just try it for another year. So ideally, you guys know let me show you our healthy cycle of development. There's some Chinese in there, but let me do just all English ones. I want to be a smaller, let me be a smaller person. Let me be small. Give me a minute. So hopefully, in every season, they will be able to kind of go through different area. For example, start from E quadrant, have a dream, become a defier, do something like no other Chinese kid do or Asian do, okay? Or something like against your will, asserting his power. Look like rebellious, but be careful, don't call it yet. And then become a crisis maker, which is like, and mom, I don't know. And then hopefully, try something, juggle so many balls, and then be able to before going to the warrior, somebody look at my head. My head represents a position called prime. So for a young man before the age of 18 or 19, if a young man and woman too are able to go through different quadrants, different dynamic to experience to be a dreamer, to be a defier, to be a crisis maker, to be a juggler, that means overdoer. And that's usually senior year, right? Junior year. And they are still able to come to a place to be an overcomer or just get through it and accept whatever the college result that is. That's usually a very good, we call cycle of prime. So that means that the young man experienced prime. So Helen, I'm not worried about Matthew because his power is up there. I think he's trying that, probably satisfied. And now he's trying his A quadrant to see how it goes. That's what I feel.
Oh gosh,
Any
yes,
feedback
so
on
good.
this?
Yes, yes.
Does
Actually,
that ring a bell? I mean, because I haven't traced Matthew for a while, but does that ring a bell?
it is.
Okay,
It is
good,
definitely. Good. Yeah, so good because now that I looked back, when he, your PQ session coaching really, really helped him. So when he was fifth grader, he chose a charter school, a very small charter middle school versus our zone academically better school, because he, in his own word, he wants to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Bigger fish. Yeah, I remember he said that. Got you. Okay.
Right. So he did satisfy a lot in his inference in the small middle school.
Yeah. So that smaller school, he will be the one of the few chosen one, like really stand out and to be able to have a voice to lead.
Correct.
Got you.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you so much. And the second question is related to his STEAM test and the current learning motivation. So it looks like his art area is higher, but to be honest, he's definitely not interested in art. So I'm just wondering.
No, I look at his game design. I'm with you.
I'm wondering, does that include liberal art though? Use word to express something, because he loves writing, loves history, loves like reading, debate, that kind of thing. So I'm just wondering, do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, I think Helen is referring to a assessment which we based on our own database. Dr. JB and I, we developed a learning PQ, and it can measure different area. For example, STEM plus R, so STEAM. Now we actually expanded more right now to do learning motivation. Cover more liberal art area, okay, including law, policy making, government, social worker, and all that. So I don't know, you can talk to Hattie about it. We have that ongoing as well. So answering to this is when we talk about art under the motivation science, especially under the context of STEM plus R, it's definitely including more than just design or artistic stuff. It's a way to beauty, this kind of sense is very abstract. So I'm thinking to write an article, to write a critiques in the magazine. It's actually a very art related or beauty related stuff, because you have to grab the abstract idea. You have to use the language, a tool, to have the logic and to express your very abstract concept. So it definitely belongs to the dream quadrant. So in Matthew's case, I think he probably had very strong logic. What he needs is kind of expression. So it combined with his power could be a pretty powerful. So again, the power is not just verbal thing. It could be writing, could be blogging, could be making a film, to be a producer of a film, to speak up for someone. So So I think Matthew, to me, I don't think STEM is his thing. I still don't know yet, but he could go some other areas. For example, combining, I don't know. I mean, what is interested right now, Matthew?
He actually, when you mentioned law, he actually 2 years ago, he added law school as one of his options.
Okay, so what are the options right now? She's 15, so let's just listen to a 15-year-old. What are the options, Helen? Like, give me a couple of things.
Well, his saving is so high that the first thing is to make money.
Sure.
So he studied the areas in practicing law, and he's like, that is it, intellectual, property. So I think he's influenced a lot by his older brother. So my older one's pure, STEM kid, at electrical engineer now in college.
Okay.
So I think I try to tell Matthew not to shadow by your brother because you are so different. But he's like, well, maybe I can do electrical engineer and go to law school.
Hold on. Engineering, then go to law.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking.
Helen. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. I'm back.
Okay. So the engineering school is pretty much because Big Brother is doing it. So he's like, let me try it, right?
That's right.
Okay. What other areas he mentioned, like anything, just casually or?
Well, when he was in elementary school, he thought about being a doctor because of his status, I think, his motivation status. So in reality, he's not interested in science. So he already knew it's not something med school is not something he wants to do. So that's why he's like, with my interest in history, debate, writing, law school might be a better option, And he actually every year he tried something related to law, like a elective or business law, or just something like that. And he enjoys it. So far, that's pretty much the only one. But he also for some reason he likes coding now. So he's like, maybe
right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
He's like, maybe computer science would also, allow me to do IP practice in law school. So I don't know. We just let him explore. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, it sounds great. I mean, we have a coach here. Let me see if coach. Do we have Casey here? Coach Haiti is not. Haiti is here, but Casey's not here. Okay. Yeah, Casey has to go on some kind of trip. So yeah, we do have Coach Haiti. Casey. Graduate from computer science, and then you should hear her story. And in her senior year, decide to go on to work for a law firm, which is intellectual property related. She's still the technical person, much less coding job, but she's going to team up with an attorney and to go for a IP case and stuff like that. I think she loved the job. So there are many ways. So Matthew, my own recommendation for him is let him pursue something every year.
Yeah, okay.
And in a way, I think he probably So Helen, I think the key thing is you and your husband. So where is the Big Brother? Is Big Brother in Texas or he's out?
In Texas.
So
yeah, University of Texas.
Does Matthew see him a lot, like weekends?
No, once a month now.
Once a month, okay. Yeah, Big Brother always have an influence over my younger brother. I have a younger brother, 12 years younger. I'm glad he didn't follow my footsteps because he's much more successful than me now. Everybody has different. So hopefully you can help Matthew to I would recommend say like, oh, you should live. The way to encourage Matthew probably will be something, Helen, you have to think and talk to your husband about. Like, you two may not be high power person, but one thing you can help Matthew is to outgrow the big brothers, not the shadow. I know they love each other, but like how can help this young man to be independent, okay, and to do something. So that need a little bit of skill and a little bit communication. I think that would be something you guys can come in as a soft power parent to let him know, like, wow, hey, law is totally different from engineering, but you could do engineering, can do computer coding and be a law, but you don't have to. Hey, Matthew, would you like to try something really, in college, not engineering related, something else that you really love to do? You love debate and you are, is business something for you? Just I think you should kind of poke around different thing, open up his way of looking at things. Otherwise, he will think engineering, like my brother, and then law. That's the first step, may not be necessary. Okay.
That's right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Thank you, Helen. All right. We'll get
we have the next question. It's also a kid that from our Passionaire.
Sure.
15 years old. So are we going to have a 15 years old students party? All the parents had a 15 years old boy. So the question is, there are 3 questions there. I already sent the profile to you.
Okay.
And then, so he's not really care about the college. He claims that, but if the classmate is not, who are not as good as him or similar level, like through his own assessment, if those students get into a better college than him, he will be very upset. So the parents were saying that we do not know how to respond to this and how to support him. So like to support him to treat the high school competition from a positive perspective than fear. This is the first question.
And this is a 15-year-old, right?
Yeah, okay. 15, a boy.
So the school, what kind of school he's going to seem to be a very competitive school. Like 15-year-old already feels so competitive. What is it, private school or something? Is it public school, or is it like the is a parent here? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very competitive private school.
Okay. A very competitive private school. I look at your son's profile. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 passions are right in the middle. We call it treasure box. That means like neutral, high saving, high curiosity, high physical activity. So does the competition come from every aspect, right? Sports, academic, activity, leadership, everything.
Yeah.
So it's an elite private school. I'm not against private school, but against elite private school training. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to be honest tonight. Not everybody fit in a school like that. So if your kid, your boy is 15-year-old, already feels stress, and I look at, his tranquility is not that bad. So we have to decide whether this stress could twist his personality. Okay, so I don't know boy, but I look at the profile. I feel he has more than Okay, let me try one more time. Sorry for the unstable Wi-Fi. Unstable Wi-Fi. Okay, let me try this now. The private school that I've coached a lot of people coming from private school, high school. What I mean, especially when the school is small, the competition may not be fair. Let me repeat that one more time. When the school is small, the class is 12 people, 10. How can you have? It's very up to what happened that semester. Little things could just there's no statistically meaningful distribution. So who has to pick the number 10s out of everybody? Who have to rank the bottom? So if your son feels so competitive, but look at his profile. I think he's not high tranquility, he's not high vengeance, not high acceptance. So this boy is doing good.
Yeah, actually, I was very surprised when he made that comment, because he's calm and I don't see much stress. So also he actually his academic is very good at school, in his grade. Yeah.
So I think I hope it's a good kind of stress. But I have one thing, it's like he has more than 10 passions at age of 15 squeezed in the middle of the profile. That means benchmark against global data. He choose neutral. He had 10 out of 16 passions. He choose neutral. Perfectly neutral, actually. Almost in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 exactly in the middle. To me, it could be two ways. One is his personality is very neutral. Okay, very calm. Okay, that's a blessing. But he's 15-year-old. This one look like he's like almost late 30. Like goes through life already. Maybe he matured too early. I have no idea. Number two could be that he may have experienced something unfair in school that he didn't talk about. That could be. I don't know which one, but he's 15-year-old. So if he already say it's very competitive, so to me that means he already say in whatever you write, some people who the same age boys actually go to better college, he will feel that's so. I feel the tone of unfairness. So I have a strong feeling. Okay, I have a strong feeling. Of course, he's very high saving. So I'll get Coach Hattie coming and talk a little bit about it. But I look at the overall profile. Your boy is definitely entrepreneur. So I think he's trying the entrepreneur quadrant, the dream quadrant. But seem to me, because of maybe the school doesn't encourage it or he doesn't have time to do it, he feels squashed or suppressed. That's the way we use. I have no idea. So 15-year-old, that's supposed to be where passions are like all over the place, but he already consolidated. That's a bit too early, but it's not a warning sign. I don't know yet because I don't know David, but his number, tranquility, everything is okay. Now, Hattie, do you have some other comment on this one? Coach Hattie, can we highlight Coach Hattie? Yeah.
Okay. I think for him, it takes time. Like when I talk to him, it does take him a little bit time, and then he had the thoughts in himself. He knows like what kind of stuff I kind of want, but give me a little bit feeling like I'm not sure. Is it possible? Is my skill level there yet? So this is something that he is really kind of thinking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And a lot of times, I think it's for him, it need to work on. There are stuff that need to work on. For example, the order, because those are the things. It's harder for him. I want to do this good, but I couldn't do it as what I planned it. and then he start to doubt about his ability, but he doesn't see it that way. I think it's the one that Coach K usually you talk about, the U shape, the stress U shape. He does have that part from the school and then from himself inside. And sometimes it's kind of like a stuck. So it does need a little bit time for him to, or more, maybe some coach can work through with him once a month and something like that. It might help for him to focus on, like, get things done, and then so that he doesn't lose confidence on himself.
I can add 2 things to what Hattie just said. I noticed he has very high expectation for himself. He has high standard. Although in my eyes, he is already very good, but it seems even his teacher commented, you should be proud of yourself. But he always find the like, oh, I'm not focused enough, those kind of thing. And the second thing you just mentioned, unfairness. I do realize at school, he's not able to freely speak up because he is more conservative. And he is even not like a conservative. He is right in the middle, but he is also, but at school, very progressive. That made him, he has thoughts, but he couldn't freely speak up. And sometimes he feel maybe guilty about it. And he feel like not only himself, but all his classmates, this is his words, like guts, doesn't have courage to speak up. Although he doesn't speak up, because if you speak up, there is a risk you will be canceled. But
okay, yeah. That's a very, very good from parents. Yeah. So yeah, my son Zach go to a very progressive school in Princeton High School. So I understand the pressure put on kids, and but I'm referring to so what's the class size like your son go to? What's the class size?
They have 120, and each class probably like a 12. But they rotate. Yeah, they rotate. Depends on the different subjects.
So all the parents think about this. If you go to a class of 12. Put yourself in their shoes. That's a lot of pressure. you just slip by a little bit, you could be the bottom 2. That to me, some kids can really thrive there, but some of them, this is not a best education place to be. I cannot say, but what I like about your son's profile is he has a very great potential in the dream quadrant. So this guy is a thinker. I bet that's the case. That's why, he doesn't know how to express. Okay, curiosity is very high. And he's testing experience. I think he's high experience. So he wants to challenge the status quo. He wants to just, there, okay? And because the number is exactly 0, that's in the middle experience. And his adventures is not there, but still pretty good. Plus idealism is kind of sticking out a little bit. So I think the way you can complement the private school environment is pull him out more, pull him back to the public. I'm kidding. Pull him back to associate with people who are not, the thing with the elite private school is that they are very privileged. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to talk about? It's a very privileged environment.
Yeah, actually, my son also thinks that way. He thinks they have a lot of privileges. He thinks he wants to give back to community because
idealism. So let me just show those. So your son need your help as a complementary school. Let me see. I think idealism, saving, go away, saving, go away, power, go away, experience, and curiosity. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll get it out now. Okay. All right. So I think he's led by curiosity right now. Ooh, curiosity. Here we go. Curiosity, show your hand here. It's very high. And then idealism and experience is squeezed in the middle. And this three can really go strong in the dreamer side. So your son need have breathing room for entrepreneur quadrant. So I recommend to complement that elite private school by taking him out. You can come to our place. We'll take you to the Northern Philly. Go to where there's no privilege. Okay. There's the school ranked the bottom, out of 1,000 some 500 school, they rank the bottom last. No, I mean, it's too extreme, but I think you have to take him out for a short mission trip somewhere. Take him out to put him into a place where just common people, regular people. He has to see at the age of 15, he got to be inspired. He got to see that the world is not just a bunch of people on the tip of the whole iceberg, that life has a lot of aspect to it. And it's very crucial. It's not about talking, but it's about doing and be with people out there. So I feel if you are able to, you should spend time with him. That's where volunteering comes in. That's where a short-term mission trip somewhere. It's very crucial. That's why we used to run before pandemic every year, go to tribal area in China, which doesn't speak Mandarin. It's white tribe, all kind of minority tribes. So we took kids there and let them see we are privileged here. Okay, that make a big impact on our kids. Okay, so your son need to get out of that elite private school environment from time to time, weekends, holidays, summer, winter. Questions?
Okay. Very, very good advice. Thank
Please.
you.
You got to do it at age 15. Do it. It would definitely help him to unpack those 10 suppressed passions. Okay. Had he mentioned the older is -2, he probably work on washing his old clothes, clean up stuff, start to form some healthy habit for a young man, know how to cook eggs so he can survive, in college, something simple, very, very crucial. So I want your son to be able to, you and your husband, I hope can be providing a complementary element of idealism, experience, travel, to help him to form that curiosity. And then will be a very nice drive to a dream. While working on the do quadrant, just work on, let me get this one. The do quadrant, he has to work on older. Let me get older out. Where are you, older? Older are here. In the do quadrant, he has to work on older here. Older, here, older. So helping a little bit. So I mean, the very competitive, I think is coming from this unfairness stuff. But if he could see some other people outside that little bubble. Now, I have a problem with elite education is such a place. Princeton people, we call it Princeton bubble. That means when you go outside the bubble doesn't exist. The bubble doesn't protect you. It just bursts. So you cannot always live in that kind of elite type of thinking. And your friend cannot be only elite people. You got to expand your life experience before the age of 20. Okay, very crucial.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. Next question, Coach Hattie, go ahead.
All right. I have question number 5 and number 7. They're really, okay. Number 5 is the kids thinks that they want to be a doctor, and then the parents thinks it's too long, so hard. So, and also not sure the kids really like it. Like how can we really assess the kids more early? And then number 7 is the opposite. The parents want the kids to be a doctor, but the kids think it's too hard, it's too long. And then before 30, it's hard to make a decision. He wants to do something before 30, although he doesn't know what he wants to do yet. Well, we don't have the age of those kids, so I think it's just interesting.
Yeah, I have been working with parents like this from both sides of the aisle. Funny thing is, when parents say it's too hard, a lot of kids end up doing whatever that's hard. So, we as parents, it's not our job to define what career is hard for our kids or what career is easy for our kids. It's not our job to do it, okay? Because and I've worked with kids, and because this kind of comments and healthy, though we think it's very, how should I say, it's part of our parenting job, just to help them, to guide them to find, I mean, but what kids really think when they have this kind of environment, like, oh, my parents think medical field is too hard, being the medical doctor. Too many years, I have seen the parents say, you are a girl, find somebody to marry. Why are you going to be a medical doctor? Marry somebody. So I've seen the comment all over, like, why don't marry a doctor instead of being a doctor? You're like, okay. And you know how much impact this has on this girl for years to come. Other way around, like, you really want your kid to be a doctor. It's a good wish, but the bottom line is it's really, doctor is the thing to be. I mean, to me, this is really not our parent. It's not what parents do, we don't decide what is hard, what's easy, okay? But what we do decide is, is my man, is my daughter, my son going to be an independent young man, young woman, okay? So there's some bottom line there. Can they take care of themselves? Can they make friends? Can they maintain friends? Can they face failures? Can they finish job? Can they own the response, own their decision in terms of the consequences? So there are a couple of things. So the next thing is, like, today's people's success never decide by college. Any parent, that today in the society, people's success is less depending on your success in college level. You'll be shocked. So when I say this, I can give you statistic and numbers. So it will come down to, do we know our kids? Like, so we can give them our advice and our love and support properly. So I'll back to our passionate stuff, be fearless as you, and live happily together, all right? But let me comment on the medical field. Now, I work with many doctors and nurses and physical therapists, like, who are really medical people. Let me give you the profile of medical people so you can check with that's your kids. Ready? All right. Okay. Number 1. Well, let me kick everything out. So the number 1 thing for a child to want to go to medical field, let me try that one more time. The number 1 thing that for the kid decide to go to medical field is always idealism. You will be shocked. So don't use like, oh, become a doctor, you will be rich. It's not going to cut it, folks, because there are other jobs that make much more money or similar, all right? So, but when the kid grow about 12, 13, if they are able to see what doctor can do, able to help, a lot of them, that's when they start to make up their mind, they want to be doing something what doctor do. So and this one, unfortunately, we need to create an environment for them to really, in a way, to say, can I help people? Can I help sick people? So some of the people want to be a doctor. The drive is real to go through 30-year-old single, working through medical school. Their book is this thick, all the Latin and everything is crazy. I would never go there. Plus, I'm very afraid of blood, so I couldn't be a doctor. But all the doctors, you can check with them. Many of them had the same experience when they were kids or in the preteen. They start to understand doctors are designed to help people, sick people. So, and this is very crucial. Okay, so for them to understand that. Now, so this is the one motivation get in there. Second, you will be shocked. Doctors are very practical people. Okay, now, so this is where a lot of parents, you got into a confusion, because that means if your kids are GPA is 4.0, straight A in school, go to medical school. Well, careful. Some of the school, the kids, when they are very good at academically, they actually are high curiosity people. They ask why. I'm not saying doctors don't ask why, but most doctors actually ask how. So the medical school is very how training. It's like 80% how, maybe even more. Today's medical field, especially so. It's about how. It's a procedure. It's very solid, step by step. They try to answer why, but they have a special group to do it. It's called medical doctor, PhD. The people high curiosity, they don't do that on daily basis to be a medical doctor. They get a medical degree, but they are learning statistics to solve problem. So they are very specialized in two ways. So 80% of doctors do practical work, okay? And maybe 10, 15% do the research job. So both can go medical school, but be careful when your kids are high GPA performance guy. Don't just say, medical school. Okay, so be careful of this, okay? I give you one more. And most of them love interdependence. Let me get it out there. Bear with me for a minute. So they want to work in a team, okay? High interdependence, that means the connect quadrant, remember? So the kids probably like to play with kids, like to associate with people, able to listen. So those are another big sign of it, because you would think doctor today is like, don't talk to people, maybe. But they have to associate with people every day, a lot of strangers. So for them, interdependence, working the team is very, very crucial. And please, I'll give you one more. And if they are not like this, don't push them to medical school. They will suffer big time. Ready? And also order. Medical school, the whole training is about order, following that's a protocol, SOP. Of course, they know the theory, but they have to repeat a lot of things. They have to read all the time, but when they read, it has to be applied to their field. So order must be high. So to get a couple of things. So usually not high saving. If you go to medical school because you make more money, that's not a motivation factor. Not much. You don't. It will fade away if that's a motivation. They will say, coding now make more money. Recycling make more money. Okay, even sports make more money. So be very careful. So these are what I know about medical, especially medical doctor. They have this kind of attribute. So if your kids have this, you can kind of encourage him or her to try. But any question here? I know, is a parent here? I mean, this is a good question. Yeah. This is a medical field.
I don't know which parents asked the question, but and I'm not even sure if this parents had the PQ report. So
okay, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, please turn on your mic if the parents is here.
Yeah, I asked the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Medical field. Okay. So you want him to go or you don't want him to go? Which one?
I want him to go, but I by all means, it's okay. He doesn't go. I don't want to try to intervene his future. But the reason he gave to me, he doesn't want to be a doctor because he wants to achieve something before age of 30. But as a doctor, basically before age of 30, you spend most of your time study and yeah.
So you have the data here. So he's 15. So let me try. Your son is very opposite to practical thinking. He is abstract thinker. He's a little older, -2 like mine. So don't get mad at him. Coach K is -2. I still get a PhD in engineering. So don't worry about that. And he's very independent as far as I can tell. So here's 3 of this, parent, if you want him to go, you almost have to twist his arm to go. It doesn't mean he couldn't do a good job as a doctor, but he will not stay in this career for all his life. He will change career. So yeah, I would say, okay. So idealism. So I think in your case, pull him away from the elite private school environment, vacation, holiday, summer camp, or summer mission. Get him to really mingle with people and see if you can, as I just give the strategy, and then we'll see, because he's 15. So the passions still are consolidating. So you will never know. So give a benefit of doubt, like he can develop into some, I don't know, just that's why I love parenting, because I'm unassuming. I don't want to just put the nail on the hey, we just walk with them, almost become the coach on the sideline and say, hey, I'm watching you, but good job. Hey, you can do a little improvement here. Your older should pick up a little bit, But as far as I can tell, your son, if you want to get him to medical school, he will go, he will get in, but he will get out. He will not be a medical doctor all his life. There's no way.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I can't say this, by the way, passionately. I can't say this. It's not because I have the data. This is from statistics globally. As I said, with the profile we just talked about, those that person cannot be a lifelong doctor unless he try or she try something more exploratory, more adventurous, more curiosity. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got a question? Go ahead.
A question in the chat saying that if my son is messy in daily life, is medical field good for him? Parents can turn on your mic if you want.
Please give me how messy, like his daily life, because messy has very, very different level. How messy is messy? It's okay if the parent doesn't want to unmute. Now, I'm not saying if you are a little older, you cannot do detailed job, but most of the doctor's work are very detailed. Okay. So I'm older, I'm -2, but I still do engineering job. But when I do it, I'm able to pick up my older and learn lesson from older in my life. Okay. And then because I know before age of 30, I have to be on this quadrant, which pick up my older. So do a solid administrative, that means systematic, like I learn. So I go from grad school, PhD, and do research, but then I'm able to recognize as a leader. So sometimes you can encourage young men, young women, like if you want to be a leader before the age of 30, even though you don't have passion in this, the do quadrant, please try to pick up your order, pick up your honor, pick up your, some of the things that you have to do it routinely. A schedule is needed. On time, in time, please work on saving, which is 3 times. Work on your talent. Number 2, work on your time. Work on your treasure, money. So we can help them year by year before they go to college, how to manage all those 3 T's. So those things we can help them out, although they don't have high passions but they still have to go through this quadrant as a training. Okay, but to motivate them from other quadrants. Hey, you want to be a leader? You want to really bring your skill to people you want to associate with every day, or you have that technical solid background so you can go become a dreamer. So that's how we motivate them from their strong quadrant to work on their weak quadrant. So that's a very, very crucial principle, how we use motivational profile as well as the PQs. All right. Any other questions here?
Yes, we have one more question. It's 8th grader. For him, playing sports and play with friends is the first priority. He would put that before learning anything, something new. So for him, he rather to be the second tier player in the winning team than a first tier player in the second, the second team. So he likes team strategy, teams and friends. And for him, the dream is to play football with friends and like in the college. So for the parents, how can the parents not shatter his dream? Because he had the medical condition, like he cannot have very competitive sports. Otherwise, if there's a injury, might be very, very serious consequence. So at the same time, the parents also want him to explore other possible interests. Currently, there's none.
Yeah, and sport is a wonderful way, part of American education system, big. There's a historical background to it. So when kids play sports, it's a lot of them pick up training there. It's especially leadership, especially teamwork and how to be in the team. I guess in this particular case, winning is not that important. I think he wants to be the second tier team, to be accepted by the team, to be able to play with team members. And at the same time, I think this kid probably tranquility is high. I don't know, but it seemed to me he already know playing the top tier team would put him in a very awkward position. So I guess actually he knows what he's doing. Sounds like, I think he has a very good street smart stuff. Be honest, I think he will be fine. You should less worry about him because he knows his medical condition. So he already start to devise or think about the way he can still enjoy sports. So a pretty cool kid. I want you, it's his mom or dad out there. I think you should less worry about him because I know if there's a medical condition, serious medical condition, I've worked with parents, with kids like that. I won't go into details, but the worst case, I mean, the case that could go really easily go wrong, let me put it this way, is the kid is so competitive, the kid doesn't care about his own safety. Okay, that's good or bad, so competitive, ignore that his shortcoming or weaknesses. So as part of this story that you just shared with me, I think this kid is aware of his shortcoming or weakness, and he's coming up with a way to deal with it. I think you should be proud of him. You should encourage him, and at the same time, we parents sometimes just say, "Hey, be careful, don't get hurt." Stop doing this kind of thing, this kind of warning about negativity first. I wish you could change the way you communicate. Say, hey, go have fun, Hey, you are making an improvement. Hey, instead of like, be careful, don't get hurt, So be careful, don't fall out of the bike. When we first started learning bicycle, my mom and dad was so busy, nobody teach me how to ride bicycle. So I got on a bicycle. I want to ride it. I was about 6 years old. I got to an adult's bike. So I think somebody put me up there, and I didn't know how to get off the bike. So I started riding the adult bikes. My feet couldn't touch the ground. I rode the bike for a solid 4 hours around the neighborhood. Do you know why? because I didn't know how to get off the bike. So, hey, sometimes you have to get your kids on the bike, let them ride. They probably have to learn how to fall out of it. But so I want you to really give your kid a good, good encouragement. I think he's fine. He's fine. He knows what to do. All right. Very good. Any other question, Coach Hattie?
Okay, that's all the question I have collected. If anybody wants to ask questions, you can turn on your mic or put it into the chat.
Yeah, any other question? And coaches here, if you want to join us, you can raise your hand. We'll put you in there. Any comments? I think these are very, very good questions, but thank you is not asking me about how to apply the best, Ivy League college. You come to the wrong place. Been there, done that. But I think most important is we are parent for life. That means not just skill, but how can we change our roles through seasons so we can grow with them? Okay, Dan, thank you. You can unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. I have a 12-year-old, and we just actually did our PQ assessment, and now I'm new to this PQ passion now, and I do have a questions. So I have a 12-year-old, and then we find out he has a very high score in tranquility and acceptance. So as a parent, I was glad to find out, but I was a little bit concerned. So I need some advice to how to help him, to understand him, to support him, and then just as a cheerleader for him. So that's my question. Thank you.
Good, excellent. Is a girl or it's a boy?
It's a boy.
I love this. 12-year-old, right?
Yes.
All right, got you. Here, tranquility, very high. Okay, here we go. Now you have to watch last week. Our passionaire who really managed her acceptance tranquility post-college through last year of college until decide to go to grad school. So congratulations, this mom. You start early. Age of 12 is a perfect year. Start to working on this too. And you will make it. But are you able to change your priority? Because it took me and my wife 1 full year just to focus on my son's acceptance. 1 year, 4 years. We don't care about. In that year, he started violin, Suzuki violin. Because acceptance, he refused to play with other kids. He refused to go on to the recital. He just observe. So, and the teacher in the Suzuki, one of them just say, "Hey, Zach, come up, play. Do not be afraid. You are a boy." That's make it worse. Okay. It took us 1 year. Forget about everything else to work on his acceptance. And in that year, he was 9-year-old. And we had such a difficult year with him because he was bullied. I didn't know that before. We kind of knew, but how much he got wounded, we don't know. So we took us 1 year. I'll tell you what we did. So we don't care if he played violin or not. Okay. And so and my wife and I changed because we are low acceptance people. That's contradicting his acceptance. So we just say, "Hey, boy, you are a boy. Don't worry. Boy is boy. Who cares what your classmate says? Don't get." So we say that actually making him more because the antenna acceptance, the antenna to pick up a lot of unwanted, unnecessary information. So we have helped them to manage that antenna, the sensitivity, and turn into sensibility, its ability to be sensitive. So we took 1 year for us to do it, but I'm very fortunate my son has low tranquility. So we can focus on, now you have both. Coach Haley just sent me the profile. Let me take a quick look. So it's a perfect Okay. Very interdependent. So he probably need to talk to friends all the time. Okay. All right. So yeah, very high acceptance, very high. So mom, you have to pick one to work with. There's no way you can work on both at the same time. Which one you want to work with?
I think I want to work on acceptance.
Wise choice.
Because
well coached. Coach Hattie probably already give you a hint. Can you tell me the reason? Because it's very crucial. Because I mean, if you would tell me like why you pick acceptance.
It's just for my mom's feeling, because only after this test I realized I'm a low acceptance. I always thought I was very sensitive to his needs, but actually it's all in my mind. It's not what he wants, it's what I want him to be.
You're right, mom. I look at your son's profile. Although he's 12-year-old, he is going to be a future leader. You can't, I mean, the better way is you cultivate him to be a leader. I like his power as a 12-year-old. I like his vengeance. I like his status. So this guy wants to be a leader. Let him be a leader. Not yet. Okay. So I think the interdependence is not real. It's because he wants to work with people who accept him. So he look for, go out, find somebody, go to a place. But the acceptance is probably dominating. So he's 12-year-old, perfect timing. All the passionate out there, the best window to work on a person's acceptance, like before age 18 or 20, acceptance, we could work on it and try to manage it. That's the best window to work on it is from 12-year-old to about 14, 15. Perfect timing. Okay. So this mom, I want to thank you for your son. Well, thanks. No, seriously, because I think you start early, you will avoid a lot of unnecessary pain down the road. Okay. So you are raising a leader and you got to be a leader yourself. What does that mean is you got to be a servant leader. That means you start to understand yourself more. Like, hey, now I'm glad to hear, you know, you are low acceptance. So that, like I said, I'm low acceptance. My wife is like, so big deal, Zach. Let's go home. I don't think so. Go do this. So that year I have to really, really watch my mouth, not to be like very scared, but that year I have to like, hey, so we have the whole Saturday morning. See, we just cut a lot of activity. So Saturday morning is our home time, house time. So we got up, we cooked together, and we are Christians, so we watch a YouTube clip together, a worship song. And then there's a movie he loved to watch, we watch together. So we spent almost an hour, 2 hours, breakfast, and we hold our tongue, not asking about school. We don't care about anything. We just, hey, we are here, just do nothing. So I call it the do nothing moment. We just cherish the hour together. And the first 2 months, he was looking at me and say, oh, are you guys serious? Are you watching me? No, we just there. We didn't ask. So then that's month 3 and 4, he started opening up, talking, and let us know how he feel about things. So it took us 1 year to manage his acceptance. And we remind him from time to time, hey, Zach, this is acceptance. Your acceptance talking. This is not what you really think. Okay. One day he was in school. He feel he was bullied by a boy. He came out crying, and so I say, do you want Dad to go walk back with you to talk to that person? And he was crying. I said, well, is that your acceptance? Did that person really do this? So in a way, we can help them to recognize their own acceptance. So give him the language. Do not be afraid of tell him what acceptance is. Acceptance is, hey, you have antenna, which is powerfully sensitive, but it may just pick up the wrong signal. Okay. Like, cell phone just get to the wrong person calling you. So let's together and have this no pressure zone. and build unassuming attitude that everything is cool. And you have to kind of take that step back a little bit. And this mom, are you high power mom too?
I think from the test, I may not look high on the score, but now I look. I think I am. Yes.
Okay, you are. God, you are good.
Yeah.
Thank you to be honest. Tiger Mom, we love you. You have to be careful. Number one, Tiger Mom, the story is about $2, not boys. So Tiger Mom versus boys, not good combination. Just let you know. All right, be very careful. Number two, you should read through that book. The first part of the book, the elder daughter worked very well, the Tiger Mom policy, whatever that is. The second part of the book actually said it did not apply to the second daughter. Nobody want to read it, okay? So Tiger Mom, I love you. Guys out there, you do a hard work. You are powerful mom, power ladies. But you know, your boy is going to be a leader. Minimally in the family, your boy goes through a society that it's not just a 乖乖牌, like, oh yeah, you know, your boy has to go through a lot of those things. You better prepare him. He cannot be too sensitive. Now I deal with so many young couples, boyfriend, girlfriend, like the boys are way too sensitive. Way too sensitive. Way too sensitive. So mom, please, you could be the Tiger Mom, but I think this year you probably have to take a step back, stop create a non-pressure zone. I'm serious about it because you miss 12 years to about 14 years, 15 years. This one can go two ways. One is he will not be able to face high stress environment. You don't want that. Mom, I bet you don't want it. Second, it could be other way around. Like this boy, your boy wants to duck out of your home so much he doesn't want to come back ever. So I hope you want to be mom forever, right? To enjoy the relationship longer and healthy, and you are able to enjoy the journey together. So please work on acceptance. Wonderful. Okay. Work with Hattie, and please, you have to drop other things, because if you still want him to be straight A, you want him to learn 10 different things, you want him to be a sport. If you do all that, there's no way you work with a boy at 12-year-old, and he will not fall behind. Don't worry about it. If the acceptance is well managed, my son's acceptance is now a little bit minus, from 2.0 to B minus. Let me tell you what, I have a much better life as a dad. Oh, such an enjoyment. So I will not be afraid of offending him by saying something, you know? and we can actually have a conversation. So it's changeable, it's manageable right now at the age of 12. It's very crucial. So in a lot of cultural age of 12 is where the boy and girl kind of get into the adulting. Okay. So why? The first gateway passion is acceptance.
Okay.
I'm not saying 2.0 is not good, but he's so hot. It's dominating every part of other passion. It will limit other passion development unless you want him to be led by sensitivity, which is okay. That means he's an actor, he's an artist, he's an athlete. Do you think that's the case? If not, the acceptance should take a second, violin seat. Just, take the back seat to help other passion to come out. Like I want his, for example, power to come up, saving to come up. I want his status, vengeance, try the producer side at the age of 12. Okay, so mom, please take a step back. Okay.
Oh, well.
All right, question. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Me?
Yeah, please.
Hi,
iPhone
Coach.
fan. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Maybe this is too early to ask. My son is 9 years old, will be 10 soon. His tranquility is also high. In fact, all my family members are high. Yeah. And today we just had school interviews. He's doing pretty good. But there's one thing I collect from all teachers are he is quiet. They wish he can speak up a little bit more. I already noticed that, and also I had a little bit concern.
How old is your son? 9?
9, yeah, will be soon in July. Yeah.
Is generally speaking, when he's at home, is he shy or he's actually talk a lot at home?
At home, he is fine. Especially with me, he talks lots of things with me. He also shows his power, his vengeance. Yeah.
Then he is fine. All right. Okay. Then he's fine. No, okay. Seriously, you have to trust me. I've seen so many. If at home he's able to communicate, talk, express his opinion, yeah, he's fine. 9-year-old is fine. Okay. And okay. A school teacher says something. So is this mom high acceptance mom? You are, right?
Yes.
I see. So please, high acceptance mom, we love you guys too, but hear me out. Your acceptance will manage. Like, do not, let me put this. Let me try this. Like, you have to manage your acceptance, mom and dad. Do not just listen to anybody comment on your son and daughter and say, oh, we have a problem. No, because your antenna is too sensitive. You pick up something. I want you to have a reality check. If your son talks normal at home, he's fine.
Yeah, but also he told me one thing. One day when he was in the physical class, he was heard by his classmates, and then the boy didn't apologize and did nothing. And I chat with him. I said, well, how do you feel? He said, oh, it's okay. I don't want to say everybody doesn't like him, and I don't want to spend my time of dealing with that trouble person. I wanted to play more.
He's pretty smart. I like this boy. He knows what he's doing. Don't worry about it. Okay. Do you want him to fight or just speak up or just no?
I don't speak up. Yes. Yeah.
No, he's not an adult. Don't force him to adult. He's 9-year-old. Okay. He's smart. He avoid confrontation. That's okay. The tranquility is high is a common thing, especially for middle school people. They are the toughest age group throughout pandemic because they knew something, but they don't know everything. That's actually worse. Elementary school kids didn't know much. That's fine. But middle school kids, they know internet, so they search online, so they have their own circle. So the tranquility may be a compound effect from pandemic. So do you talk a lot about virus, be careful? Did you talk about a lot like that?
Probably, but not too much. But I cautious him. He order is negative, so he doesn't like to follow.
All right. So as a mom, please cut down something like not unnecessary stress or like a love thing. Like, be careful. It's very cold out there. Be careful. Don't catch a cold or something. Don't say that. Just cut down a little bit. Okay. And also you have to manage your acceptance because his stress may come from your sensitivity.
Yeah. Hattie told me that.
So you transfer your sensitivity to his stress and you become boom, bounce back and forth, ping pong. You don't want to do that. And that's going to, both of you will pick up there. So try to eliminate this kind of negative cycle. Like, oh man, as a mom, I'm too sensitive. I'll let this go. Okay. And then just monitor. So the way I hear some of the cases, just say he's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. He's 9-year-old. Very good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other question? I have one chat here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Oh, all right. All right, so that's 9:30.
We don't have any more questions. It's time.
I I love I love Q&A, folks, because to me, that's where I really enjoy. So as we are ending here today, college. I think the most important thing for college age people is to be an independent young man, young woman. All right. And the second of all is to experience, if possible, a small scale prime in their life. They could be living independent from parents. They have to manage their money a little bit. Well, a lot of money. They are able to manage their time and talent. Those are so we talk to our kids before they go to college. These are the area that we want you to be independent. Can you be in charge of your money? Can you be in charge of time and talent? And so we still mention about older if they have to pick up older, but it's too late when you practice older in college. So something can help them out along in high school, stuff like that. But end of day, every day I face all the young people coming to me. College is important, but I have to be honest tonight. College is a process. Your life is not going to be decided by what college you go to. You could make the most of it, but to me, the process is more important than what you get out of it. So with that in mind, I think I want to relax all of the parents here. Before we go, I'll read a statistic before we go out. You will be shocked. Out of the Gen Z, they do the survey among 1,000 young people. This actually through pandemic, 1,000 young people in this nation. Gen Z, they have a lot of questions. What do you think you want to accomplish before age of 30? You may think your kids are playing video game too much. You may think you have to be a tiger mom, eagle dad to push them to go to good college. But you know what, Gen Z today, the top number one goal for them before the age of 30 to finish is to get good education. So it doesn't take you to be part of that push. They know, and they know, and they know. So I want the parent out there to know that they actually know. But it's more like, are they able to have a room to make mistake? Are they able to have room to express themselves? Can they find their identity? Can they still have fun? Can they still be a young teenager to be a teenager? So all that will factor into this. So my advice, relax your demand on so-called good college. Okay, relax it, because whatever you think is good may not be the best for your kids. So with that, I'm going to conclude tonight. Thank you all for all the coaches coming and parents. Your questions are really, really appreciated. It really help us to know how you guys doing out there. But hopefully you can find our local coaches out there. Just talk to them, and we are building a global passionate community. Monday morning time, but Asia in the evening 9 o'clock, and Thursday night here in the Eastern time 9 p.m. English. Monday is Chinese, Thursday English. We would love to meet you here. So hopefully everybody have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.